Hey guys, Sprinter Doctor here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to walk you through how to replace your front brake pads for you DIY guys. Let's get started. Go ahead and raise this thing up. Alright, this is Alcoa rims, so I have the chrome caps. I'm pulling these caps off. Get the wheel off. Just so you know, the minimum thickness for brake pads is 3 millimeters. And the minimum thickness specification for the rotors is 25 millimeters. So only put pads on if you have rotors that are above the minimum thickness. Take this little rubber cap off. And take this plastic cap off right here. Go ahead and get our wear sensor off. It's probably going to break when you try to pull it out of here. Don't worry about that. We're going to replace that sensor. All right, get you a flathead, big flathead screwdriver or a small pry bar, and you can reach in there and pry against the rotor to pull that caliper back a little bit, just to push those caliper pistons in just a little bit, enough to where you can push the caliper back the other way and get your pry bar or screwdriver down in between the pad and the rotor, and that way you can pry against that brake pad and push those pistons in. Make sure this caliper slides freely. The caliper bolts are 6 millimeter Allen. The top bolt can stay in there. Take a hanger, you can hang the caliper on. You don't want to hang the caliper from the brake hose. You can get those hangers off of Amazon.com. Pop this brake sensor wiring harness out of the holder right there. Just gonna hang my caliper right there. These anti-rattle clips, if you inspect those and they don't have any corrosion or rust, it's okay to reuse them. But if they're rusted or corroded at all, go ahead and replace them. Just get one of your old brake pads, get a large set of channel locks, you can get them the rest of the way back in like that. The pistons, that is. On this, there's a bolt on the top right here. What I'm gonna do is turn the caliper up like this and get that bolt started kind of in that hole, and then just roll it down on there. And then you may have to push this bottom pin back a little bit, just like that. Now I'm gonna put my bottom bolt back in and move the caliper around until I feel that bolt start to go in that hole. Then I'm going to carefully make sure that goes back in. Be careful not to cross thread that. Just tighten that back up. $34 Newton meters, that's what those bolts tighten to. Put our sensor in. Make sure it's plugged in good. Putting a little bit of that grease in there just helps to keep those pins lubed up. My theory is when those brakes get good and hot, that grease will work its way down in there on those pins. Clip that back in. This is the Super Steer centering tool. I always use these to put my front tires on. With these centering lug nuts, just tighten those by hand. These front rims on these 3500s never center up perfectly. So if you use these centering tool nuts, it centers that wheel up real good. And then, you know, there's just 3 of them. So you put those 3 on, hand tighten them, you know, with a wrench by hand, and then put 3 lug nuts on there and tighten those 3 lug nuts down. Then you can take the centering tool lug nuts back out. And then we put our other 3 lug nuts on. Go ahead and let it back down. And if you're at home with a floor jack, you can do one side at a time. It's okay. Torque these to 180 newtons. Putting these chrome caps back on. Just want to go ahead and do the other side the same way you did this side. Okay guys, very important step after you install brake pads, pump up the brake pedal to make sure you have a good solid pedal. If you don't, the first time you hit the pedal when you drive off, you're not going to have any brakes, and that can cause you to have a wreck. So don't forget that step. See, all the way to the floor. Okay, now we have a good pedal.